Alright guys, you may have just watched the Revo update video, and this is just basically to cover everything else. The King is beautiful. As always, Mr. Reliable is just, you can't kill this thing. I've broken many parts, many parts, but it always seems that you can't kill this truck. You'll break one axle, but you can still drive home on the other one. You know, you'll break a drive shaft, but you can still drive home on front-wheel drive. I remember one time the steering even broke, but I could still steer left. So I still made it home because I could do circles and, you know. So there was a couple problems we had. We had a short out problem with the switch on the controller. No, I don't know where the other one is at the moment. Basically the switch for the on-off on the controller, and it had a program button on it. And that little thing shorted out because I totally forgot to water seal it. And I guess the controller reprogrammed itself. Which it's supposedly not supposed to be able to do. But now it's acting weird. It's not broken, I can still drive it all day. But when you turn on the controller, it used to beep 3 times, and then it would do a different beep as if to tell you it was ready. Now it beeps 4 times, and it doesn't give you a ready beep. It just kind of beeps 4 times, and it's like, meh, whatever. He'll go when he's ready. And it just seems to drive normally, other than the fact that it goes a little bit slower, and it has less punch. So I'm not sure what the hell happened, but the controller reprogrammed itself. So I have to buy basically the controller card, because nobody knows how to control these things with the buttons. Not that I've been able to find. In the manual it basically tells you to buy the programming card, which is probably what I'm going to do anyway, because I have 3 of these controllers, 2 120s and an 80, and I'm told the controller works with all of them. So for the Wheelie King, that's all it really needs. It does need a couple steering parts. I could use a metal ball end for that. That fell off the other day while I was running it. If not a ball end, I'm just going to put a washer under it. But I mean, the steering slop is just going to get worse and worse the more that wears, but the rest of it seems to be fine. Yeah, it's just that, exactly, just that one spot. Shocks are fine, and it needs a 3rd rear drive shaft. I bought 2 for my original wheelie. Oh, might need a little bit of maintenance there too. I bought 2 of these originally, and it's to the point where both of them are completely chewed to hell now, and it's starting to click and pop while I'm driving, so yeah, it's toast. And still running plastic drive shaft up front with a completely aluminum stock diff up front with the stock spider gears in it. So there's no hardened diff or nothing up front, that's completely stock. And the back's obviously hardened with the nitro gears and a steel drive shaft. So that's pretty much it for the King. Just needs a reprogram and 2 very minor parts. Again, I could take it out and drive it right now if I put a washer on the steering, because it just fell off. Oh, my back. And the beasts. This one, unfortunately, you're probably not going to see for a while, either of them. Oh, I guess it's going to be one of those years for beasts. This one, oh yeah, oh, you don't even want to know about this one. I put my arm out because I threw it. That's how pissed off it made me. Fortunately for the truck, though, it didn't get smashed like the old Nitro. I just threw it and just, you know, said, fuck it. I just kind of threw it on the tires. I didn't, you know, like throw it at the ground or whatever. Because it was to the point where I couldn't get it running, and then finally I got it running, and the friggin' receiver started acting up, and, you know, the gas and brake wouldn't work, and it's like, what the fuck? So this one needs a lot of work. The friggin' one-way bearing is basically the biggest issue. And of course it's working now. But as always with the beasts, you put some fuel in it and a glow niter and the friggin' pull start starts slipping. So it's a bitch to get it started, and like I said, then once I got it started, friggin' receiver started having issues. So I gotta figure out what's going on there. And I'm still having tuning issues with the friggin' nitro. It's because I like to run the engine rich, but it won't let me run it rich. So it's kind of a pain in my ass. So I'm to the point where I'm going to try running a constant glow plug on it. As you see, I have extra cooling because I want to be able to put a lot of power through it, which usually means running it lean. But as you guys can see in my videos, I found a way of running it rich and still being able to pull some kick-ass wheelies. So that's what I'm trying to do, but the engine doesn't like it. It gets flooded a lot. And not necessarily flooded, but it'll hesitate and shit. You'll hear it in my videos, some of the older videos with the actual older nitro. I'll hit the gas, it'll hesitate for, you know, maybe a millisecond, and then it'll just bomb, and it takes off like a bat out of hell, right? So I found out that if I leave the glow niter in it all the time, it gets rid of the hesitation. So what I'm going to try and do is, yeah, permanently rig up a glow plug on a switch so that I can just switch it on and leave it on. And I don't know if the glow plug is going to get full power or not, because it may burn out glow plugs, so I may have to do like a resistor setup so the glow plug gets like half power. So you'd start the truck with the normal glow plug thing, and then once the truck's running, you put on the half power glow plug just to give it that little bit extra burn because your engine runs so rich and cold. Something like that. So I got quite a bit of work to do to this thing. I'm gonna put a steel transmission in it with one of my locked rear diffs. So it's getting a steel single gear transmission with a locked rear diff. The transmission I'm not going to bother doing until it blows out second gear. For now, second gear is actually working and shifting, so I'm going to leave it, like I said, till it blows up, and then it's getting the solid steel tranny. And yeah, like other than that, it's just tuning and finicking with it, and half the time I can't be bothered, especially because of the one-way. That just kills all the fun. Oh yes, and I still plan to make a roto start of some friggin' type that touches the flywheel, so you don't have to use the one-way bearing at all, because that would just make everything so much better. So that's for that. And the electric one's just down for maintenance. I still need to replace the rotor in the electric motor beast. And what the hell else does it need? Oh right, and the rear diff blew. I didn't change the bearings in the rear diff of the electric Mad Beast for over 6 months after I had built the, was it a year? I think was it more than 6 months? No, it was like that. It was a long time. And the bearings were like 6 months old when I built the steel diff for it, so didn't change the bearings, and the bearings killed the differential. So yeah, the electric beast needs a rear diff and a motor. So yeah, I gotta fix the Mamba motor, get the new bearings and shit for it, and rear diff. And then the electric beast will be running. And the crawler, as the tires are just free spinning. Crawler is perfectly fine, just needs a pinion gear. It had a brass pinion gear on it, and it literally chewed itself to hell, and the plastic spur gear is perfectly fine. So I'm going to put a steel spur gear on it, and probably change out the gear ratio a little bit. I think it had a 15 tooth spur on it, and I'm going to go up to, I think, a 21. Sounds about right to me. I tried a 24 on it, and it was too much. Anytime you tried to park the truck on a hill, it would just roll. So I'm thinking a 20 or a 21 would be good. Or was I think, well, 19, 20, yeah, basically 20. Because I run 19 on the King and it does pretty good, so 20 on this should be good, and that'll give it a little bit more speed. So that's basically it for the crawler. It doesn't get run all that much because the brass spur gear sounded friggin' terrible. But hopefully that sounds a lot better with the steel spur gear. And that's pretty much it, guys. So I'll keep you updated with any new information, but at the moment we're working on the tractors and stuff, so hope you enjoyed.